Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo Flying Insect Trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo Flying Insect Trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
Colin Farrell has revealed how son James was heartbreakingly misdiagnosed with cerebral palsy before doctors eventually confirmed he was suffering from Angelman syndrome. The phone booth actor, 48, discussed his firstborn son's condition in a new interview and said medical advice was sought after James, now 20, missed developmental milestones and struggled to sit up or crawl as a baby. Angelman syndrome is a rare neurogenetic disorder that primarily affects the nervous system and causes severe physical and intellectual disability. Colin, who shares James with ex-Kim Bordanavi, explained how many sufferers of the rare syndrome are often misdiagnosed with cerebral palsy due to both conditions having similar symptoms. He told People, James couldn't sit up. He wasn't crawling. I think he was a year and a half when we took him to get really checked out, and he was diagnosed as having cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is the name for a set of conditions affecting movement and coordination stemming from a problem with the brain that takes place before, during or soon after birth. Difficulty speaking, swallowing, or seeing, along with learning difficulties, can also be symptoms. Colin said, it was a common misdiagnosis, because it shared a lot of the same characteristics. And that was a downer for sure. The Oscar nominee revealed that only when James was about 2.5 years old, that a pediatric neurologist suggested he be tested for Angelman syndrome. Recalling the moment he received the diagnosis, he shared, I remember the first two questions I asked were, what's the life expectancy and how much pain is involved? And the doctor said, life expectancy, as far as we can tell, is the same for you and for me, and pain, no. A doctor had noticed an unusual symptom that prompted him to test for Angelman syndrome. With Colin explaining, one of the characteristics of Angelman syndrome is outbreaks of laughter. And the doctor saw that James was laughing a lot and doing this movement, he waves his hands, the father of two shared. Angelman syndrome is also characterized by seizures, which Colin, who also shares son Henry Tadeusz, 15, with Polish actress Alicja Bokleda-Kuras, 41, said is one of the things that parents struggle with greatly. Cerebral palsy is the name for a set of conditions affecting movement and coordination stemming from a problem with the brain that takes place before, during or soon after birth. Symptoms are not typically obvious immediately after a child is born, but instead normally become noticeable after 2 or 3 years. They include delays in reaching development milestones, such as difficulty speaking, swallowing, or seeing, along with learning difficulties, can also be symptoms. Cerebral palsy symptoms can be caused by a number of things and are not necessarily an indication of the condition, which can occur if a child's brain does not develop normally while in the womb, or is damaged during or soon after birth. Causes include bleeding in the baby's brain, reduced blood and oxygen supply, infection caught by the mother while pregnant, asphyxiation during a difficult birth, meningitis, or a serious head injury, though the precise cause is often not clear. There is no cure currently, but physiotherapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy and medication are often used as treatment. Each person living with the condition is affected in a different way, but generally speaking most children live into adult life and some can live for many decades. He added, thankfully, James hasn't had a breakthrough seizure now in about 10 or 11 years, but I've been in the back of ambulances, I've been in the hospital with him. I've done Diastat, a sedative, up his rectum to get him out of a seizure that lasted longer than 3 minutes. Finding the right amount of medication that doesn't have adverse effects, that's all very tricky business. The actor is now launching the Colin Farrell Foundation to provide support, education, and advocacy for adults with intellectual disabilities. This is the first time I've spoken about it, and obviously the only reason I'm speaking is I can't ask James if he wants to do this. The proud dad stated that his eldest son has worked so hard all his life, so hard. Repetition, balance, his jerky gait. When he started feeding himself for tea,